I work for Saluda Shoals Park, and we have many events that go on here at the park, and I happen to be the coordinator of Unearth, a celebration of naturally inspired art, and this is our 6th year, and we are in the midst of another beautiful Unearth Day, jam-packed from afternoon until the evening with all kinds of arts events.
I've been part of this wonderful day experience since its inception, and today I am showing visitors here to the park some of the ways that photography has affected my normal practice, that is as an embroiderer using needle and thread.
The community turnout is great. It is a really laid-back day. The artists are actually on the trails creating their art so that our guests understand the process that the artist goes through to create a piece of artwork.
Well, first of all, I'd never really been here before, and I'm born and raised in South Carolina in Florence and spent a lot of time in Columbia, and I've never been to Saluda Shoals Park. And so one of the things that interested me about this event, when Kathy first called me, I was intrigued by what they do, about having 50 artists, you know, dotted around the trails and out in nature doing their thing. And what a great, as a musician, which is an art, it's just great to see an event this unique and this cool, supporting artists of all kinds.
We have literary arts, performing arts, visual arts, and a wonderful main stage with musicians playing all day long.
You know, in general, as a singer, we try to make people have fun. This is actually a very famous South Carolina song. This is Sweet Tea. This was a semi-hit. We've been doing it, this is the 25th year that the Blue Dogs have been playing. In fact, this is our 25th anniversary, almost to the month. I graduated from college in 1987. And Hank Futch, the bass player of the Blue Dogs, and I, we had known each other in Cub Scouts. We started playing together right around then. Well, my role, other than booking the bands and helping bring some what are some artists that are well known in the state. Philip Lammons, who plays with Hank and myself, is becoming a big-time songwriter. Doug Jones, who's behind me, from the band Craven Melon, which has been playing almost as long as the Blue Dogs, probably 22 years. Matt Mays of Jupiter Coyote was on the road for 20 years. So to me, it's nice to be able to bring these guys who had a name in South Carolina, to be able to bring those guys and maybe get them some exposure to this crowd.
Well, there's so many different mediums. We have somebody welding, we have a yarn spinner, we have painters, and we have dancers. It's, there is something that everybody can relate to. Everybody loves music, and we've got music all day long. We also have trail musicians out scattered on the trails that are playing music in between the artists. And so there are sights and sounds everywhere all day, and anybody can relate to that.
This is my 5th year. I started on the very first year, and they've invited me back every year, so it's been a lot of fun. It's great weather, having a great crowd out here, and especially when you get to talk about the processes, not only with this, but art all the way around.
A lot of the artists have an opportunity for our guests to actually get involved with what they're creating, so there's a lot of hands-on activities as well. People love that. It's an opportunity to see art in an untraditional setting rather than being in a gallery or a museum. So it's an active participation with the artists. It's great.
I was fortunate enough to be part of an artist residency in Key West this past March, and I took an awful lot of photos. I've used my photos in order to create basic books, artist books, most particularly photo albums, a way that at any moment I can refer back to the inspiration that I find in nature and be impacted by that.
I took ceramics when I was in college, and I kind of dabbled a little bit in raku then. And then I got into the working world and didn't really touch it for a long time, and then got back into it again about 6 or 7 years ago.
Since being in Key West, I was able to develop 2 bodies of work, one based on the colors of the water and the other based on the textures of the sand. And I'm sharing not only the bookbinding, but those 2 bodies of work, and just encouraging people to do something with their own photographs too, like enter the amateur photo contest here at Saluda Shoals next year.
Raku has its heritage in Japanese firings, I suppose, back in the day when for the tea ceremonies they would fire some pots. However, we've adopted it here in the Western world back during the 1940s by the addition of what's called a reduction can. By taking the piece out of the kiln at about 1800 degrees, we then place it into a reduction can, leave it in there so that the fire builds up, close the lid on it, and then you get an end result after about 20 or 30 minutes.
The wide variety of imaginative, creative arts. There's so many ways that people can tap into their creative side.
There have been a couple of groups that have contacted me later, particularly art educators that have come with high school students that are interested in pursuing art and never looked at their home economics as a visual expression. That's always one of my favorite things to hear, that someone is actually taking up the humble needle and pulling some thread through fabric and having enough guts to know that it's art.
Artistic endeavors are so important to our day-to-day lives, and it's a way for families to get together and spend the afternoon together, and everybody, you know, have something that they can enjoy. It's just giving back to the community, and I actually had a guest one year write me afterwards and say that it felt like a gift, and that's exactly what we intend it to be, as a gift to the community.
Just a cool event, and we're so happy to be a part of it.
The lasting impact would be to be here next year and run into someone that said, I took you up on your advice. I shot pictures here in the park. I entered that amateur photography contest. I'm an artist. Just
awareness that, you know, art is cool. You know, you don't always have to be the athlete or what have you. You can dabble in art and just express yourself.
I think hopefully people will unearth some new ideas.
Come on out if you can and enjoy the day. It's a lot of fun out here. We're having a good time.
So tying into the park and your first time here, how do you think today's going to end? They're not going to use that part.
Don't mess him up while he's talking about the park.
Y'all start singing background vocals for Sweet Tea.